Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Jay, and this is the brand new 2017 Nissan Armada. So, I'm really excited to do this unboxing review today because it is specifically geared towards SUV enthusiasts. I know there's a lot of you out there, and you're really sad to see all of the best true SUVs go off the market and they're being replaced by crossovers of all various sizes. But this is a pure SUV in the greatest ways possible. So, Carbuzz was invited by Nissan to do this Nissan experience up in Carmel by the Sea, California, and we got to test drive this new Armada just before it goes on sale. And it was just a really good opportunity to get a better look at this full-size SUV, and it's actually been redesigned for the first time ever. The first generation of Armada, I believe, it launched back in 2004. So it was on sale for like 11 years. And even though it did receive various upgrades and refreshes along the way, it was just no longer competitive. And, well, Nissan realized that because gas is getting so cheap again in the US, that, look, we need to have something better than just this old Armada, and it was time for a redesign. But they did not base this new Armada on the Titan pickup truck, which was also just recently redesigned. Instead, Nissan did something way, way better. They based this this Armada on the global Nissan Patrol. That's right, the Nissan Patrol that's sold in pretty much every region of the world that's not North America is now in North America. It's just called the Armada. And in fact, the Patrol was already brought to the U.S. In the name of the Infiniti XQ80, which I already did an unboxing review of, and I encourage you to check that out as well. But there was a few things about that won't work for a lot of people who want to have a true full-size SUV for off-roading purposes. It's that the Infiniti QX80 it's just very expensive, and I'll get to pricing later. But this new Armada, it looks virtually identical from the outside and in as the more expensive Infiniti, except it has Nissan badging and a different front grille and other little things. But I think this new Armada, and this is just my personal opinion, it looks better than the Infiniti QX80. That QX80, it just has that kind of a weird front grille. It's very curvaceous, and it just isn't for everybody. But the Armada, like the Patrol, it has a more conservative face. It's more straightforward, and I think it just fits the vehicle better. And because off-road enthusiasts are going to want to hopefully take this off-road, it comes with 18-inch wheel standard. The vehicle you see right here, it has optional 20-inch wheels. But what was interesting is that the Infiniti QX80 comes with optional 22-inch wheels. Again, it's just because it's a more luxurious version, and the automakers can get more money for it. But what's really, really good is that, like that Infiniti, this Armada comes with the exact same engine. It is a naturally aspirated 5.6 liter V8. And just a few years ago, I believe, let's say around like 2010, we all thought that engines like this would soon be completely gone. Ford was it still is getting rid of a lot of its V8 engines in its pickup trucks and SUVs, like the Ford Expedition. It's been replaced, for an example, by a twin-turbo V6 engine, but Nissan is still kicking it old school, naturally aspirated V8. It's just, I'm just so glad they're still doing that, and they haven't been tempted to switch over to a turbocharged engine or even a diesel, but that would be fine. But in the wake of the whole Volkswagen thing, I don't think they're going to offer a diesel in the U.S. anytime soon for the new Armada. And as you can see with this interior, it's really, really luxurious. This is the it's an all leather upholstery, nice tan colors. That's real wood, very high quality throughout. And when I compared it to the Infiniti QX80, I was sitting in it, and it's really, really hard to tell the difference. With the exception of the Infiniti and Nissan badges, they're virtually identical. And that also brings up another interesting point. I know, off-road enthusiasts, they're big into vehicles like the Jeep Wrangler. I did an unboxing review of that vehicle as well. They like things to be, for the most part, kind of primitive. But as you can see here, this is anything but primitive. This is a full-on luxury SUV. Will that kind of hurt sales for this? I don't think so, not in the very least, because Nissan was telling us at this event that the people or the buyers they have in mind, they earn, let's say, around $150,000 a year. They have a wife, kids, and they like to go camping. And what's great about the Armada is that with seating up to 8, if you have the second row bench, you can also get a couple captain's chairs in the second row, but they'll be seating up to 7. But with seating up to 8 and the way the seats fold flat, you'll always have enough space, just for anything, really. And like the QX80, this Armada also has a towing capacity of 8,500 pounds. That is literally a speedboat. So there's literally nothing that this vehicle can't do. But let's start that engine up and take a good listen to that here. Okay, right, so that is definitely not turbocharging or diesel. Nothing sounds quite as good as a naturally aspirated V8. Right here, Nissan told me that it has 390 horsepower and 394 pound-feet of torque. But I was a little curious about that because it didn't sound right initially, and I went back and I checked my notes, and then the Infiniti QX80, that's actually rated at 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. Same engine, so I'm guessing Nissan slightly detuned it here for some reasons. We're going to try to find out why exactly, so stay tuned for a future article on CarBuzz about that as well. And as you can expect with something that weighs about 5,000 pounds, that's what the Armada weighs when it's with a full 8 passenger seating and four-wheel drive. Fuel economy, it's only like 14 miles per gallon in the city, and a combined 18 miles per gallon. And well, the way we drove it in the city, we only managed 8 miles per gallon. But look, here at CarBuzz, we have lead feet. What can we say? Various speeding tickets. So the interior, as I was mentioning, it's all leather, that's real wood. You have this really nice 8-inch navigation system, and it controls most of the infotainment features, but it was a good system. It's very similar, if not the same, that's found in the Infiniti, but I liked it because you don't have to really worry about punching through various or numerous menus just to change the radio station. This touchscreen, it's easy to use, and there are separate knobs for things like the cabin temperature, audio volume, radio tuning, as well as separate buttons for other controls like the audio track selection and radio presets. And something else that's kind of interesting is that to keep the interior noise to a minimal, there's acoustic glass. And Nissan also was telling us that the Armada has best-in-class second-row headroom and legroom. So bear that in mind, too.
Crust the head of the sandwich. Yeah, crust.
Our test car was also equipped with this 13-speaker sound system. That's an optional feature. But why is the Nissan Patrol thought of so highly? Because again, it's called the Armada in the US, but this is the Patrol everywhere else. Well, the Patrol was first launched way back in the early 1950s in Japan, and the first Patrol looked an awful lot like the old Willys Jeep, as did the original Toyota Land Cruiser. And everywhere else in the world, again, outside of the US, the Patrol and the Land Cruiser are longtime competitors. And the Patrol was actually sold very briefly in the 1960s in the US, but beginning in the 1980s, Nissan's SUV in the US was the Pathfinder, but since 2013, with the latest redesigned Pathfinder, that officially became a crossover. But the Patrol, it's just a great all-around SUV. Australians love it. It's very popular in the Middle East, and in fact, there are several armies in Asia and in the Middle East that still use the previous generation Patrol, in regular military use. And because of its popularity for that, Nissan still builds the previous generation Patrol just for those militaries, as well as the Irish Army. And the Patrol is actually still very popular in its original domestic market of Japan. But there, actually, the Patrol is called the Safari for some reason, and they've had that since 1980. I'm not really so sure why, but... and this is kind of interesting. I mentioned this feature in the Infiniti QX80. That's just a regular sunroof. That's optional here, but I think that this should be really a panoramic sunroof that you find on a $27,000 Kia Soul. So I'm a little disappointed that Nissan still can manage to bring a panoramic roof to something like this Armada here, especially the more expensive Infiniti, but whatever. There's always room for future updates. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the power is sent in this in our test model's case to all four wheels through a 7-speed automatic transmission. It is the only gearbox on offer. So, and in our experience behind the wheel, we were very, very impressed by it. Here at CarBuzz, we've driven so many cars and SUVs, and we're really impressed just how well the engine and transmission were paired up here. So how did this do off-road? Well, again, it's a body on frame chassis construction as opposed to unibody construction. It has independent double wishbone front and rear suspensions, and Nissan set up a really cool sort of off-roading course for us, and it just killed it. It did everything we requested for this vehicle to do. But going back to one of my earlier points, are Nissan Armada buyers actually going to take these off-roading like it was designed to do? That's a very good question. I would certainly hope so, just because, here in CarBuzz, we were so impressed by this, and compared to the Infiniti, this is really the better bargain. So I certainly hope buyers do use this vehicle for what's intended for. And take a look here in the headrest of the front and the driver and front passenger seat. There's a couple of screens behind them as well for the second row passengers. So in no way did Nissan cut short luxury. Those screens, they're actually optional features, but when we start talking about pricing here, this new Nissan Armada makes an awful lot of sense. It starts at $45,000. Now, if anyone noticed, the previous generation Armada, it started off at around $38,000. Now, why is there an increase in price? Well, as we reported last week on CarBuzz, we learned that this coming September, Nissan is going to launch a brand new Xterra SUV. That great midsize SUV was discontinued a few years ago, but now it's coming back. And when you're having something new come to the market, they have to juggle around, Nissan in this case, the pricing a little bit. So they bumped the Armada a little upmarket to make way for the new Xterra. We reported on that last week, and you can click on the link here in the video to check out that full news report. But you're hearing it from me right now. That new Xterra is coming. But back to pricing. So this costs again starting off at $45,000, and because this is so new, Nissan hasn't finalized pricing just yet. But we believe a fully loaded Armada Platinum Edition, which is the one you see here, will come to about $60,000. Now, the cheapest Infiniti QX80 costs just under $65,000, and you're getting a lot of the same luxury features in that car, which tops off at somewhere around $80,000 for thousands of dollars less. And plus, you're getting a much more, I think, in my opinion, handsome front grille design. So, would you want to get the Infiniti over the Nissan? I don't think so. I was very, very impressed with the new Armada. It is a pure off-road enthusiast SUV. It's luxurious. It's comfortable. It drives great on road. It does what it needs to do off-road. It can handle just about any condition that you request of it. So the competition, you're going to have the Chevrolet Tahoe and GMC Yukon Twins, the Ford Expedition, as well as the Toyota Sequoia. All of those start off at around the $45,000 to $47,000 price range. So what's going to happen with all the leftover Armadas that are still in dealership lots? Well, let's hope they sell them, because this new second generation Armada is a far superior SUV than the vehicle it replaces, hands down. So everybody, I really hope you enjoyed this special SUV enthusiast review today. I'm out of time. If you have any more questions for me, please leave them for me in the comment section below. Any other suggestions for future car unboxing reviews you'd like me to do, also leave those in the in the comment section below. And be sure to check out the full review of the 2017 Nissan Armada on carbuzz.com. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.